Hello everyone, welcome to another topic. In this session, we will discuss some of the predecessors of Bitcoin and blockchain. The decentralized electronic system has taken many phases, variants and versions to be the legendary Bitcoin, which is a well-known and a well-used cryptocurrency in the world now. Out of all, there are some well-known and noticeable ones that we will be discussing in this session. DigiCash was a company that dealt with finance through electronic money. It was founded by David Chaum, an American computer scientist and cryptographer in 1989. David Chaum made it possible by introducing a new mechanism called blind signature, which plays a vital role in assuring that transactions are made anonymously. DigiCash's innovations eventually led to development of blockchain technology, as most of the groundwork had already been done before. DigiCash was based on a technology mentioned in the researcher paper, blind signatures, for untraceable payments. It was published in 1982 and can be used for anonymous cash transfers. The blind signature disguises or blinds a transaction before it submits to the network, and the blinded signature is verified publicly with its original form, that is unblinded form, as a regular signature. The DigiCash used nodes from the bank and designated specific encrypted keys by sending transaction keys to the recipient before it made the transaction. The company declared bankruptcy in 1998. And eventually sold their assets to another digital currency company called eCash Technologies. In February 2002, it was acquired by InfoSpace. There were multiple reasons behind the failure of DigiCash, including the lack of cash flow between the employees and the leadership of the company. Hashcash is an email filter based on a proof-of-work system to figure out spam mails in DOS, denial of service attacks. Hashcash has recently come to limelight for its vital role in the development of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Adam Back developed Hashcash in year 1997, and a formal documentation was released in the year 2002 in a paper Hashcash, a denial of service countermeasure. In Hashcash, the sender calculates a Hashcash stamp. A textual encoding of this stamp is appended to the email header. This is to make sure that the sender has utilized some CPU power, which is decided by proof of work. A spammer is unlikely to send a large chunk of emails. By following this process, as they lack such computing power, make it easy to filter spam mails. After receiving the mail, the receiver can verify the mail by spending very little amount of CPU power, which is almost negligible. You could also find the header with required fields and properties by applying brute force technique. That means we need to use all the possible values you need, the answer is found, which is the only other way possible. Although testing a string individually is like a piece of cake task, satisfactory answers are rare enough that brute forcing will require a huge number of attempts to formulate an answer. Proof of work, or POW, is a consensus algorithm, which you will be learning about further in the upcoming modules. Spammers are generally businesses which send bulk emails. It is only profitable to them if there is a minimum cost to spend for each such a spam email they send. The receiver can guarantee that the message is not a spam by verifying if such investment was made by the sender or not, and therefore can easily filter them. For calculating the header, the Hashcash uses a 160-bit SHO-1 encryption scheme. The proof of work used by Hashcash is designed to have the first 20 bits to be zeros, thus leaving 2 raised to the power 140 combinations. As you can see here, the header of the Hashcash looks similar to this. Now let's see what the header contains. Var. It is used to represent the version of the Hashcash. Bits. The number of bits that are used as partial preimage. That means the 0 bits are present in the hash code. Date. The date and time when the sender sent the messenger and is represented in the format of year, month, and date is hours, months, seconds. Resource. Resource is the data in the string format that is being transmitted, which could be an IP address or email address or something else. EXT. It is an optional field, which is used to represent the extension used. It is ignored in the version 1. Rand. It is just a string of random characters that are encoded in base 64 format. Counter. This field represents the binary counter of the Hashcash that is encoded in base 64 format. Now let's talk about bmoney. Bmoney is an early-age distributed cash system that proposed by Weidai, a computer engineer known for his contributions to cryptography and cryptocurrencies. He developed a cryptography library, Crypto++, and co-proposed a message authentication algorithm called VMAC. Wei, the smallest subunit of Ether, is named after him. Weidai published a white paper in which he proposed anonymously distributed e-cash system called bmoney. It was published in November 1998 on the cypherpunks mailing list. It was also later discussed by Satoshi Nakamoto in his famous research paper Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system when introducing Bitcoin. bmoney was designed to create a free financial system over the internet. The intention was to introduce a tax-free system where people cannot be forced to do anything. The basic principles of bmoney were the same as the modern cryptocurrency. It was presumed that without involving any third party, the digital alias of money will move freely via the decentralized network. Unfortunately, the bmoney project is not gaining much traction since after its white paper was implemented. In the white paper, weidai proposed an alternative money creation protocol. In this paper, the account keepers decide and agree on the amount of bmoney to be created in each period. The cost of creating this money is determined by an auction. This process is divided in the following phases. The first phase is planning. For the next period, each account keeper computes and negotiates with others in order to determine an optimal increase in the money supply. Each account keeper broadcasts their money creation code is supported by any macroeconomics calculations done. Second phase is bidding. Anyone who wants to create a bmoney broadcasts a bid. The bid is provided as X and Y. Here, X is the amount of bmoney they want to create, and Y is an unsolved problem from a predetermined problem class. Each problem in this class should have a nominal cost, in MIPS years let's say, which is publicly agreed upon. Third phase is computation. Each bidder now solves the problems in its bids and broadcasts the solution. Fourth phase is money creation. Each account keeper accepts the highest bids among the broadcasted solutions. The bid is selected taking into account the nominal cost per unit of bmoney created and credits the bidder's account accordingly. Apart from the bmoney, weidai is also responsible for many cryptographic techniques such as VMAC, Crypto++, a free and open source C++ library of cryptographic algorithms and schemes originally written by weidai. Next, we have eGold. eGold Limited was a digital gold currency company operated under Gold and Silver Incorporated, founded in 1996 by Douglas Jackson and Barry Downey. Before starting the company, Jackson was an oncologist and Barry was working as an attorney. It was one of the earlier companies that tried to establish digital currency, but it used gold and other precious metals, mostly silver as an underlying currency as they are globally acceptable. eGold lets users create an account on their website and deposit money in the denomination of grams of gold or silver mostly, and provide instant transfer of gold to other accounts. Even though the company was just launched in 1996, it was raised up to 5 million accounts by the end of 2009. When the transfers were suspended because of legal issues that company was facing during that period, the company was at its peak during the year 2006 with more than $2 billion worth of spends per year. eGold faced many hurdles such as security issues, digital scams, cyber attacks, systemic problems as the technology available during the era was primitive. Even though the company was successful and eventually it was shut down, it played its part in motivating the need for digital currency. During the early 2000s, the feature of immediate settlement implemented by eGold was recognized that it rose as a key for the emergence of peer-to-peer transactions of digital rights of an asset such as in smart contracts. BitGold is another decentralized virtual currency project before blockchain. It was proposed in 1998 by Nick Szabo. Although Bitcoin hasn't been implemented fully, Szabo's attempt is widely considered and is the reason that brought him to the limelight. He was believed to be the precursor of Bitcoin's developer Satoshi Nakamoto. The Bitcoin and BitGold protocols are so similar that at one instant, it was said that people thought that Nick is the anonymous Bitcoin creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. Szabo claimed the BitGold was created to address some of the problems of the traditional finance system. According to Szabo, participants must have a great deal of trust to make transactions in the traditional system. In other words, we need to be familiar with the other participant with whom we are making a transaction, which places constraint on the system. So he decided to act on the constraint and proposed BitGold. a trustless transaction system. Sabo gave a presentation at the Bitcoin Investor Conference in which he emphasized Bitcoin as a software to minimize vulnerabilities of all parties to each other. Bitcoin and Bitgold are almost identical in terms of architecture and transaction system, mainly the decentralized network. Just similar to Bitcoin, a Bitgold user must solve the cryptic puzzle by computer power. Bitgold maintains a Byzantine fault-tolerant or BFT consensus space peer-to-peer network. All puzzles are sent and assigned to the public key of the node solving the puzzle. The recent solution provided by all of the puzzle solvers is further considered for creating the next puzzle and thereby validating the transactions. This process is on the same lines as generating a new block in the Bitcoin system. In Bitcoin, the hash address of the previous block is used to link the block to the next set of blocks added to the chain. The Bitgold system that was proposed by Nick Szabo is non-fungible. It runs on a network which is decentralized and distributed. As the centralized authorities is no more controlling the system, the trust is established here by the individual participating nodes. The research conducted by financial author Dominic Frisby provided circumstantial evidence to believe that Szabo is the original Satoshi Nakamoto, but as he admits that no proof is found. It was all for this session. Thank you.